Hey everyone, MTash here, and today I want to show off my account because after 11 days, I just logged in, so it's 12 days, but after 11 days, I was able to get 66,000 power on my Gwyn, and I'm working on getting some of my other characters up, and by the end of the day, I honestly should be able to get him up much higher. All I need to do is level up a few different artifacts, and I can probably get him to 64,000 to get a claim 20 and beyond. But how did I do it? Some of it is luck. It is legitimately luck, and there's a couple things you can do to mitigate that, but you need dupe exotics. I was able to get Concerto very early, and I was able to get this, but without the catalysts, it gets very difficult to start pushing into the upper echelon of power. And also getting these other catalyst boosts that are below me here, these are really big, but this is a time-gated thing. These materials are extremely difficult to get. There's a finite amount that you can get, and so this is one thing that is going to hold back a lot of people. Now, if you do get an exotic, one thing that you can do, and is a way to kind of boost up your account, is you're able to use the exotic, where would they be? The exotic materials. Here they go. So you can use these exotic materials, and you can either get random ones for 30, or you can craft this one. Sorry. No. Oh, it goes up in price. Interesting. So the initial one is 40. I didn't realize that this actually does go up in price. The mythical one says it's going to go up in price, but it doesn't. So for 40 of these, you can actually use a selector. And whatever you've actually dropped, these are the 5 exotics that I've actually dropped. I could select this. So I got Concerto, and I got a dupe, and I was able to improve my catalyst on that weapon. And long term, my goal is most likely to use this and get a couple more copies to max that weapon out long term. And so that is something you can do kind of once a week to mitigate some of that RNG. So that was one thing that helped push me up into power. But the other really big, really important thing that I think a lot of people kind of got screwed on is I held all of my bounty keys until I was high enough to start getting really good mods, which allowed me to start getting gold mods really early. On my other account that I had played, I spent those keys willy-nilly. I got a bunch of purple mods and blue mods. It didn't really provide any value, but me, I just hoarded them, and if I was going to overcap, I would spend those ones, but I just essentially got to 6 out of 6 on those keys. And then the next week, when I was high enough to do it, I used those keys, I did my bounties, used the rest of the keys, and I ended up getting gold mods. I've got gold mods for multiple different characters. I haven't fully equipped them yet, but I have gold mods and mythical mods on a bunch of my characters. I have one somewhere. Anyways, I've got another one somewhere. I can't remember what weapon it's for. And so this is a huge thing because each of these mods, especially if you get lucky, and let's say that one more time, if you get lucky, these mods are crazy because at level 7, this is giving me 1,124 power. This one here, 1,124 power. But I also have this perk here, and I think it gives you more. I can't remember. I think it gives you like another 200 or something like that. And so there's a few things that you can't really control. But one thing that I want to mention is with the mods, the same thing goes with artifacts and mods. We do get exotic selectors. There's multiple ways to get exotic selectors over time. And what I would recommend you do is you farm, you use your frontline keys, you use your Grandmaster keys, you see what you get, and then use your selectors a little bit later. Because that's what I did. I had, I had this mod, I had this mod, I had nothing in this slot. So then I used my selector on this slot so that I could improve my overall character. And so those are some really key things, but the big one here is artifacts. Artifacts are extremely important. You need to refine these things and get them up, but getting these perks, it's a game changer for how much power it gives you. It gives you thousands upon thousands of them. Each artifact is giving you power. So like this is giving me 2,700 power. This one's giving me almost 2,900. And I need to refine these ones if I want to push my power up a little bit more. But I can easily get like 300 more power out of these things by refactoring them and upping those stats. Now, with mythical mods, it's a lot cheaper to do it because you don't need this material. But this is another big thing that the mods are going to be very important, but also getting mods that have the same stats on it. So ability strength, signature boost, void boost. I've got ability strength, void boost. You know, if you can get these same stats on it, that's going to be better for you long term. I need to upgrade and optimize a few things here, but you know, leveling these things up and refining them so that you get more passives is very, very important. So that's where I'm at. My Gwyn is, I've got 3 copies of her total. I got super lucky. I got her. I've got 3 copies of her. Last night, I ended up getting another copy of Ningfei. This reroll account is insane. This is gotta be one of the stronger free-to-play accounts out there. And technically, I'm behind because I've missed multiple days that I could have had energy and I could have had progression. So the next big thing that I did, and that is very important, and it's something that I want to discuss, is I had someone who's shocked by this the other day. They didn't realize in the legendary campaign, you've got your first attempt rewards, and then you've got the harder difficulties. These change up, and some people didn't realize that. You need to try to go in and get these because these are very, very important rewards. This is one thing that I was doing the other day, and someone in chat was like, "What? I didn't realize that those changed." Like that was like a new reward and all these different things. So make sure you're doing that because it's very important. And you know, you get boosted rewards 3 times a week. You get 10 of these. If you don't do this each week, it's worse to miss this than miss out on the raid or something like that. So legendary campaign is very important, but this bad boy right here, insanely important. So I ended up using a few keys on the master difficulty, gambling for mods. And I think that it paid off because it allowed me to shoot past 6,400 or 64,000 relatively easy and get to the higher acclaim, yada, yada, yada. But these mods are a kind of a pain point that are going to hold you back in your progression back. You can get selectors for these mods, but you can also get like a actual selector, and I have one of these, so I can pick any mod in the game I choose, which is really cool. But I personally would wait until Grandmaster. Part of me wishes I would have waited till Grandmaster because then you start getting this material, which can take your weapons up to 85. Now, the counterpoint to that, or the argument against that, is getting to 64,000 is very, very difficult. And the amount of things that you need to do beyond 64,000 is very limited. And so, you know, using those keys, you get 3 a week. It's not the end of the world if you get lucky. But if you don't get lucky, it's pretty punishing. So my mindset is I wouldn't gamble on it until you can get to Grandmaster, because this is guaranteed. This is a guaranteed way to get a huge boost of power for some of your characters. And what I'm going to be doing is, instead of maxing out my Gwyn, I'm going to use these materials to take my Ning phase weapon up to 85 and get more value out of that and push him up past 64,000 sooner. So that's kind of my game plan, but the Grandmaster is very, very important. Now, I want to talk about one more thing that I did. I'm a bit of a degenerate, and you can see here, I bought energy. I used leaves to buy energy, and I also used leaves, and I'm about to do it again. I'm using leaves to buy keys. Now, I'm not going to do this long term, but I did do it, and I just showed you on stream here, because if I get these mods, and if I get this material, and I can push up my power, there's something that I want to discuss, and it's the overall economy of leaves. So the way I look at it is, even though I've wasted those leaves and I can't do pulls, I was already able to beat the Expanse on the one side, and I was able to beat it in, does it show the time? There's like different time chests. I'm not sure if I can see it, but I was able to beat it with a 66,000 power Gwyn. And you get rewards for this. You get some awesome rewards. Oh, here we go. Here's the different rewards, and then there's different chest rewards. You can use these keys to get more rewards, which gives you a bunch of these materials, which means you can build your next character, yada yada. It's very, very lucrative to do this. And so if I spend my leaves And I'm able to not only beat this, but I'm able to push the times. I was 17 seconds off of getting this one. That means that I'm going to be able to build another character to push down this one and get all of these rewards. And so that's another 30, 60, 90. That's 90 right there. That's half of a key. And without those exotic mods, then maybe I couldn't do this. And long term, oh, there's another 50 there. Long term, I'm going to pay off those keys. And I'm not going to do this forever, but I did do it for the first couple of weeks to get the keys, to get the extra energy, so that I could push faster and further and have essentially an extra day worth of energy so that I could do this before the timer runs out and just kind of snowball it. And the same thing goes, is I can use my keys on Grandmaster and I'm getting those things back. On top of that, if I push my power up sooner, I can go in and I can do the Calamity Ops. So currently, I'm in Expert 1. I'm not quite at this power level to do the next one, but by doing this, you get these rewards each cycle. So I don't know if people fully understand this, but in 8 days, I'm going to get 750 of these. If I had done it before, you get, 700 or 650. And when you're lower level, you don't even get the exotic material. I'm getting 5 exotic material. This is like gold, gamers. This is one of the most important materials in the game. And if I can push up further, I could get all the way up into 20. My goal is to get into here, because if I can just get 15 to 20, if I can get 15 more of this just snowballs it further. I can then push further the next time and the next time and the next time, because I'm about to have more exotics, and it gets so expensive with those materials. That's why I'm doing this. I'm investing so that I can just get stronger and keep pushing. And where my account's at now, I can do everything in the game for the most part on my Gwyn, and I'm just working on my second character now so that I can get my acclaim up a little bit higher so that I can get, I think it's acclaim 25. Yeah, I need 2 gold medals, and then you can start pushing in. You can get better mod drops, and again, that snowball keeps going and going and going. You get more mod drops, which leads to better characters, leveling up. It's easier to level them, yada, yada, yada. So, that's kind of where I'm at. Even right there, here, taking my mods up to level 10, insane. That's like 300 more power per mod, which allows me to then, probably push that content and get 15 more exotic materials. Because, look at this. I've got a character here. I've already invested in her. So these ones are I think 10 and 20. This is another 30. And then it's another 40. And then you got 40, 50, 60. And each one of these is 400 power. And, this one is 100. And that's 1,000 power. But you start getting more bonuses. And by the end of the day, it's going to take months to fully build a character and fully max out an exotic. This is a huge undertaking to max out an exotic. And so I want to push as fast as I can so I can optimize this and get it. Because then I can just build more exotics and get more characters and yeah. So that's where I'm at. That's where the account is at. I'm very happy. Another quick tip is make sure you're looking for mythical mods on your weapons. A quick way to do that, I've got kind of maxed out guns on all of my main characters, and the way that I did that is from pretty much day one, I only crafted these mythical weapon engrams, which is a selector. So even though I hadn't filled out the full roster of guns, I didn't care. I was just doing the selector and just choosing those weapons until I got a good mythical mod set. And I can maybe make them stronger or take them up a little bit further, but that's all I did. And if you don't do that, I think it's 800 power you're missing out on. Or maybe 400 because the other mods have power too, but it's a lot of power to just lose for free if you don't have double mythical mod. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I've got lots of materials here. I can almost take a weapon to 85 today. I've got an exotic selector. I've got a bunch of these selectors. I'm working towards another exotic so I can get another dupe. I've got materials to take up the artifact, the whatever it's called, gilding, so I can get my Ningfei up. I can reroll some artifacts to get my Ningfei up, and then we're going to push through, and we're going to hopefully beat floor 30 today on him. So that's where I'm at. I might be streaming right now. I've been streaming a lot of this game. twitch.tv/mtashed. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. See you later.